What if I told you that your self-doubt is the silent killer of your dreams? After all these big accomplishments and achievements, I would still feel like almost angry, almost upset, even more frustrated because I wasn't getting the feeling of happiness or validation that I truly longed for, that I truly wanted. And that's why in this video, I'm sharing the 3 frameworks that destroyed my fear of rejection. These are the exact shifts that help me stop living for other people's approval and start building real courage and finally love myself enough to know that no rejection could ever take away my worth. I want you to watch this video daily. And I promise you that if you put these into practice, you'll never see rejection the same way again. The first framework is about scarcity, validation, and the fear of rejection. Every time you say yes for validation, you're secretly rejecting yourself. Every time you say yes for validation, you are secretly rejecting yourself. A lesson for me, and a lesson I want to share with you, is that fear of rejection comes from scarcity and the need for validation, and constantly saying yes to other people to be liked and to be approved. There's a quote I want to share with you. I cannot give you the formula for success, but I can give you the formula for failure. Try to please everybody. This is by Herbert Bayard Swope, who's an American editor and journalist. And for years, I personally said yes to everyone who said, Lewis, can you help me with this? Lewis, here's an opportunity. Lewis, I've got a project I need your help with. Every request, every project, every opportunity, I was like, yes, what can I do? How can I help you? What do you need from me? I was seeking the validation and approval from everyone. I just wanted to be liked. I wanted to be loved by other people because growing up, I didn't feel enough. I didn't have a lot of friends. People made fun of me, was picked on, bullied, all these different things. Because deep down, I didn't feel like I was enough for myself. So I was always seeking the approval of other people. And it was exhausting. I don't know if you know this feeling. Seeking validation from other people drains your energy. It doesn't give you energy. I thought if people saw me everywhere, achieving more, accomplishing bigger things, but maybe they wouldn't reject me. Maybe they would accept me. Maybe they would like me. Maybe they would love me. But that scarcity mindset and craving for validation had me chasing approval instead of feeling peace. And can I tell you that peace is one of the greatest gifts you can have? Inner peace is priceless. But when you're chasing and seeking approval and validation, you're afraid of rejection, you are giving up your peace, my friend. That robs you of your peace. You are creating chaos and stress and overwhelm. And there is turbulence inside of you because you're always trying to control things and external factors, and you never have peace. Eventually, after many, many years of doing this, I realized that every time I said yes to everything else, I was really just saying no to myself. Every time you say yes to someone else because you're seeking approval or validation, you're saying no to your self-worth. Now, this doesn't mean you shouldn't be a generous person and you shouldn't be helping others and you shouldn't be kind and giving. I'm not saying never help other people. But what I am saying is when you help because you want someone to like you only, and you're afraid that if you don't help them, then they're not going to like you, then you are making decisions based out of scarcity and fear that will block your freedom, that will block your peace, that will block your flow, block your abundance. And that will create stress in your body, stress in your mind, and it will only hurt you in your life. Be a giver. Be generous. Help your friends and family. All these things are good things. This is a key to life, is building these deep relationships. Don't do it out of fear of rejection. Don't do it because you don't love yourself and you're hoping that maybe if they like you because you do something for them, you'll feel like you're finally enough. That is not the way to go about it. A couple of action steps I want for you is to write down the last 3 times you said yes when you really wanted to say no. And I can think about these, you know, it's hard. It's hard because you want everyone to like you. You want to be there for people. You don't want to let people down. I get it. But if you are letting yourself down, trying to please other people's agendas, then you're always going to feel like you're second best. You're always going to feel unworthy, like you're not enough, and you're not good enough for yourself. That's what we got to get to. And it's not always fun. I spent decades saying yes to everything that came my way because I didn't want anyone to be frustrated. I didn't want anyone to say negative things about me behind my back. I was worried what they would think about me, all that crap. I'm telling you, that does not create peace for you. It creates a war inside of you. It does not build self-worth. It brings down your worth. It hurts you. Do things, though, with your friends, your family, people that reach out. You can be generous still. But if you know inside, like, you don't want to do something, or you're extending yourself too much and it's not something you really want to do, or you're doing it because you just want to be liked by them, that's when you have to say, should I really be doing this? You've got to create boundaries in your life. You got to protect your peace as well. And when you give your energy to everyone to be pleased by them, you don't protect your peace. So ask yourself, am I doing this for me or for validation? Am I doing this because I want to be a giver or because I want to be liked? It's the next thing I want you to ask yourself. And practice saying no to one small thing today. Even if it feels extremely scary or uncomfortable, just say, no, I can't do that right now. It doesn't mean you're not going to be able to do something for someone else in the future or that person for the next thing in the future. Just know you can't do one thing right now. If you really feel like it's not meant for you to do this thing, don't be available for everyone all the time, unless it's part of, like, it brings you a lot of joy, it brings you a lot of peace. Cool, do that. But if it's pulling your energy, it's sucking and draining your energy, you got to learn to say no. And remind yourself, rejection of an opportunity is not a rejection of you. Scarcity, validation, fear of rejection. This is the first framework that I want you to be thinking about. We need to start learning how to have courage in our life to say no to people that we're just saying yes to because we want validation and to be liked. Now, I get it. If you're working in a career or your job, or you've got clients and you've got commitments where people are paying you, you've got responsibilities, those are different things. You've created an agreement or contracts in place where you've got to deliver certain results and you've got to show up. There are things I do all the time that I don't necessarily love to do or I don't want to do in this moment, but I've got obligations, I've got responsibilities, I've got bills, I've got all these different things that I've committed to showing up to. And I can always renegotiate these contracts or agreements if I want to in the future, but these are something that I've taken on and I'm glad to take them on because of the opportunities in my life. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that people are reaching out to you left and right, asking you for favors all the time or asking you to do something that just want you to take from you. They don't want to give from you also. There's not a mutually beneficial relationship, or that you're just doing it because you want to be in the it crowd, or you want to be liked, or you want to be validated by a certain person. That is going to rob you of your joy and rob you of your peace. And I want you to have more peace than stress. Framework number 2. Courage isn't internal, it's supported. Now, this is a little contradictory, and this doesn't give you the full picture. Courage isn't about proving you can do it alone. It's about proving you're strong enough to ask for support. And this is the key. Courage doesn't mean silencing fear on your own. It means having mentors, having friends, having support, having tools that help you face rejection without letting it break you. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. That's what Mark Twain said. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. And I used to think I had to handle everything on myself because I grew up thinking I had no friends, that people made fun of me, and I validated that by actually real life experiences. And it was a big struggle for me not to have friends growing up, to be picked on, to be picked last on sports teams, all these things. It really hurt my psyche when I was 8, 9, 12, 14 years old. And it drove me to prove people wrong. And it drove me to do things to get validation, to seek approval, to all these different things. And I'm assuming most people in the world have experienced this in some way, shape, or form. But I used to think I had to handle everything myself because I felt like I was alone. I felt like I was alone. No one was looking out for me. No one cared about me. No one loved me. That was a story that I played in my own mind. It wasn't the absolute truth. Especially in relationships, I feared upsetting people so much that I betrayed myself over and over again just to avoid conflict. Have you ever been in a relationship, an intimate relationship, where you constantly betrayed what you knew you were supposed to do just to try to keep the peace with your partner, just to try to make them happy, just so they wouldn't scream at you, just so they wouldn't yell, just so they wouldn't cry because you didn't do something? I gave in so many times. And it's sad for me to look back and think about how much I betrayed myself just to avoid conflict in intimacy, because I thought like I'm supposed to give so much and make sure that they're happy and never mad at me. I lacked the courage to say, this is who I am, this is what I stand for. And if you're going to be upset or scream at me or throw a tantrum, that's on you. And maybe we're just not the right fit, and that's okay. But I lacked that courage to create those boundaries until I learned the lessons the hard way over and over again, suffered a lot of stress, a lot of pain, a lot of frustration, because I'm the one who betrayed myself. These other people didn't do it. I did it. And so I'm the one that paid the price. And I don't know if you can relate to this, where you've ever betrayed yourself in a relationship. It's exhausting. It drains the life out of you. It sucks the soul from you when you do this over and over again. But hopefully, you're here for a reason right now. And if you're in that experience right now, you can make a change. It doesn't mean the other person in your life will change, but you can make a change and the situation may change. You can start to say, I am no longer going to give in to please another person. It doesn't mean you don't want to make the relationship flourish and thrive and you don't want it to be harmony. You do. But you don't have harmony because you're giving in constantly to try to please another person. That doesn't work for you anymore. And I'm here to let you know that you are more worthy, you're more lovable than having to give in constantly to create the peace. Now, this doesn't mean the change is going to happen overnight. You're going to have courageous conversations in your life. You're going to have to be able to have self-worth and stand up for self consciously, calmly, when these patterns continue again. You're going to have to start shifting old behavior into a new behavior and stay consistent with it for yourself. But the key is to stop betraying you. Because every time you betray yourself, your self-worth diminishes. Your chaos inside of you increases. Your lack of peace grows. And I want you to have more peace, more abundance, more joy, more freedom to be exactly who you are. But you've got to have the courage to be willing to speak up and to speak up for yourself. What changed everything in my life was realizing I didn't have to carry it alone. And that can be a very scary thing for a lot of people, because a lot of us feel like we're doing life alone, that no one is helping us. We're carrying all the weight, all the load, all the responsibility is on our shoulders. And that is exhausting. It's exhausting. I know it because I lived it for a long time. And I still have a lot of responsibility in my life. I still take a lot on, but I empower others to support me. I create agreements with others to support me. I'm allowing others to support me as well. Because when you get used to doing things on your own, it's hard for you to allow another person to support you. You get so comfortable and used to say, I'm just going to do it all on my own because everyone else lets me down. No one else can do it like me. Everyone else isn't consistent like I am, and they're not going to do it the way it needs to get done. I know that mentality. that will only get you so far, but it'll exhaust you, it'll drain you, and it'll rob you of your peace long term. Having support, a coach, mentor, friend, a guide, a spiritual leader, it helped give me the courage to stop letting other people's opinions control my life. And I believe having support for you will do the same. Doesn't mean it's always easy getting started, but it's definitely necessary to sustain a more harmonious life for yourself. An actionable step I want you to take right now, a few of them, is to identify one source of support in your life right now. This could be a potential mentor, a coach, a trusted friend. And I would love for you to start a conversation with them. Reach out to them and say, hey, I want to talk to you about a few things. And I'd love for you to support me. Literally saying the words, I would like to talk to you. And are you able to support me on something I'm going through right now in my life? That is scary for a lot of people. I know it's hard for me because I never asked for support. So when you're not familiar doing that, it's scary. But I'm telling you, this is something I want you to take action on. Reach out to someone and say, can I share with you a fear of rejection that I have? And share this fear of rejection that you might be having in your life and talk about it. And allow it to just come out of you. Allow yourself to express it. Allow yourself to speak about it in a way so hopefully it's less scary. Because when we speak about things, those things become less scary. When we hide it, when we hoard it, when we are shameful about it, it stays stuck inside of us. So share it out with a trusted person in your life and allow them to support you. Before, the next key I want you to do is before making a decision in your life, any small or big decision, ask yourself, am I still safe even if they reject me? That's a big one, because I used to think if I upset someone, then I'm going to die alone forever. I'm going to be like dead. They're never going to like me. They're going to judge me. I'm upsetting them. I can't upset them. So I have to just extend myself at all the times. And I am safe even if people reject me. I am. I didn't used to think I was, but you learn how to create emotional safety within your nervous system, even when people reject you, even when they're upset at you. You're going to wake up tomorrow. You're going to be alive. You're going to be okay. It may not feel like you're going to be okay. It may feel like the end of the world if someone doesn't like you, if they're upset at you. It may feel like, I need this validation. But I'm telling you, I have met so many people in my life, and I used to feel like I needed to know everyone, and I needed everyone to be my friend, and I need to do favors for everyone. And I've gotten to a place where I've really shrunk my circle over the last few years, and I am safer than ever now. Sure, I know lots of people still, and I'll show up for friends, and I'll show up for people when I can, but I'm really good at saying no now from a loving, conscious place, just saying, listen, I'm busy right now. I've got a lot going on. I cannot do this for you. And I'll also try to give when I can give, and I'll try to support those when I can, but it's knowing I'm going to be safe even if they're not in my life or even if they don't like me like the way I want them to like me. You're going to be safe. I'm safe. Create a mantra for yourself as well. Their reaction doesn't define my worth. Use this mantra. Their reaction does not define my worth. Repeat this daily. Repeat it over and over again. When I say no, I can't do this, I don't have the time, their reaction does not define my worth. It doesn't. Human beings are human beings. I'm going to let down other people. Other people are going to let down me. We're going to have our feelings. We're going to feel sad. We're going to feel frustrated. We're human beings. We have a wide range of emotions. Then we move on. And if people don't move on, or if I don't move on it, that's on us. And we got to work through our emotions. But you are going to be safe no matter what someone's reaction is, their emotional reaction. And courage isn't internal, it's supported. That's framework number 2. Allow yourself to reach out for support. Yes, it takes internal courage to act, to move, to take action, to have that courageous conversation with someone. You've got to take that courage inside of you as well to say, I can't do this right now. and be willing to face the emotional reactions of people in your life, or the letdown or the breakdown. Yes, it takes internal courage, but don't do courage on your own forever. Reach out to support, find support, have a guide, have a friend, have someone in your life to support you in that courageous journey. And framework number 3, self-love over external validation. Oh man, this is hard because most of my life, all I wanted was love from others, likability from other people, external validation. That's what made me feel like safe, like I was okay. And if they don't like or love me, I'm worthless. But rejection only breaks you when you don't already love yourself. When you know you are enough, their no can't take anything from you. Let me say this again. Rejection only breaks you when you don't already love yourself. When you know you are enough, their no can't take anything from you. A big lesson is that rejection hurts the most when you don't already love yourself. If you can do this one exercise where you look yourself in the mirror, it's one of the weirdest things you do if you're not familiar with this. And I'm not saying look yourself in the mirror and say, oh, I look pretty today, or I look ugly today, or looking at yourself in terms of material looks. But if you can look yourself in the mirror, and this is look back into the reflection of your own eyes, into the soul of who you are through your eyes. And if you can look at your soul in your eyes and say, I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just looking into your eyes, and have courage to do it. 99% of the world will never do this because it takes true courage to be able to look yourself in the eyes and say, I am enough. When you can do this and start to truly believe it, even when other people don't accept you, make fun of you, criticize you, judge you, when you can start to do this, rejection loses its power. Rejection loses its power over you. It is freeing. It is empowering. It is something that just creates more in your life, more peace, more freedom. And that's what I want for you. The Buddha said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserves your love and affection. Oh, does that sting? Does that sting the younger version of myself that never gave myself love and affection? Does that sting you right now? Do you give yourself love and affection? And some of you here might watch some of my content or listen to the School of Greatness or the show, coming for health and wellness information, coming for strategies on how to make a lot of money and invest and build your business. And some of you come for relationship advice on how to find the right partner and build a beautiful relationship. And you may say, this is a little woo-wooey, Lewis. Like, this is a little whatever, fluffy. This is like, come on, be a man, toughen up. This is lame. But this quote really does hit you deep if you actually have an open heart and you're willing to listen to it. Ask yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Ooh, you yourself, do you deserve your love and affection? And are you giving it to yourself? If you're not, then you're always going to be seeking outside approval. For decades, I'm talking about decades, from early years, teen years, 20s, even early 30s, I chased achievement. I chased it. And I had these big goals, and I was able to accomplish so many of these goals. And for whatever reason, within minutes, hours of accomplishing these massive goals that I would set for myself, it's almost like I was more frustrated, more angry, more upset than I was before accomplishing it. And I was like, man, I'm accomplishing the biggest things in my life right now. Why am I still frustrated? And I realized that these accomplishments, money, followers, status, I was doing them to feel validated by other people instead of doing them because it was something that brought me a lot of self-pride, self-joy, because it was out of passion, because it was out of a desire to achieve something for me where I could impact other people as well. It was doing it to prove people wrong who made fun of me. It was doing it to show that I was better than. It was doing it to try to seek approval that when I accomplish this, then people will like me finally. Then maybe people will love me. Then I'll feel worthy enough when I accomplish this thing. But that did not work. And I remember when I hit 30, I realized that none of this fulfilled the emptiness inside of me. None of it. And this is the book that I wrote recently called The Greatness Mindset. That's the book that I wish I had in my teens and my 20s before this massive wake-up call, because it gave me all the tools that I learned on how to feel harmonious inside of me so that I could go after my dreams without doing it to try to prove others wrong and seek approval or validation, but instead because it was a higher calling and it felt like it was part of my journey. If you haven't read The Greatness Mindset, Unlock the Power of Your Mind and Live Your Best Life Today, I highly recommend you get this, because this will help you in so many ways transform your life and give you step-by-step tools for getting clearer on your mission and how to accomplish your mission based out of a place of peace and harmony rather than anger, resentment, and seeking approval and validation. And the real wake-up call when I turned 30 happened when I thought, and I received everything, and everything I ever wanted actually happened, and I was still unhappy. My relationships were broken, my business was falling apart, my health was falling apart, yet I was accomplishing all these things externally. But why was I broken on the inside still? And when I finally shifted things was the moment I started to shift my practice for gratitude and literally standing in front of a mirror, as weird and silly as this might sound, was literally practicing gratitude and standing in front of a mirror saying, I like you, I love you. I know I'm going to get a lot of weird reactions. I know a lot of the men watching this right now or listening right now are going to already comment and say, you're weak, this is lame, you're sharing some stupid stuff right now, Lewis. I already know a lot of you are already commenting this or you're about to comment it right now. But real men, real women, and real human beings can stand in front of the mirror and say, I like you, and mean it, and say, I love you, and mean it. And if you can't, it's just a reflection of what's missing in your life. It's a reflection of where you get to grow, where you get to heal, where you get to improve, where you get to forgive, not only others in your life, but yourself. And if you can't look in the mirror and say, I like you and I love you, then it just means you've got work to do. It doesn't mean you're a broken human being, but it might mean you have some breakdowns in your life that need a stronger foundation of healing, of mending, so you can come back stronger and start to believe that you are likable and lovable in this world. Because I used to think that I had so much shame and guilt inside of me from things that happened to me, from things I did, from things I said, from thoughts that I had. I used to hold on to the shame and just feel like if people knew what happened to me or what I thought or what I did, no one would like me. No one would love me. How could anyone like someone who's living in so much shame and guilt and insecurity? And so I had to, step by step, start to heal, start to mend, start to rebuild, because I was chasing approval, seeking validation, needing accomplishment to feel lovable. And yet I felt like I hated myself more and more every time I achieved greater and greater. And that's why in the Greatness Mindset, we talk about the process of healing and how to really go through that. I spent 12 and a half years interviewing the greatest neuroscientists, the greatest therapists, the greatest healers, the greatest leaders, talking about achieving from a place of harmony rather than seeking approval from others. When you get this book and dive in, it's going to give you the guide on how to do that from the greatest minds in the world. And that simple practice broke the cycle of needing other people's approval. Now, there's a great story I actually talk about in this book I want to share with you real quick. It kind of relates to this. on page 103 of the Greatness Mindset, I talk about ourselves as a work in progress. I talk about how to overcome self-doubt, because self-doubt is the killer of dreams. And I saw this video online that I quote in here. It was a video of Snoop Dogg talking about this, actually. I saw a video of Snoop Dogg after he was awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So I live in Los Angeles. I'm 15 minutes from Hollywood Walk of Fame, and he got his star on the Walk of Fame. He rattled off a list of all the things he was grateful for. Again, gratitude is the first thing that I talk about. If you can express what you're grateful for and look yourself in the mirror and say, I like you, I love you. He talked about all the things he was grateful for and thanked a lot of people. Again, gratitude. Grateful for people in his life. And lastly, this is what he said. He said, I want to thank me. I want to thank me for believing in me. I want to thank me for doing all this hard work. I want to thank me for having no days off. I want to thank me for never quitting. I want to thank me for always being a giver and trying to give more than I receive. I want to thank me for trying to do more right things than wrong things. I want to thank me for just being me at all times. It was kind of funny, like people were kind of laughing at it because he was like so audacious in how he shared this thing. But I actually really liked that example, because a lot of times we aren't able to look ourselves in the mirror and just say, I like you, I love you, and I want to thank you. I want to thank you for showing up this morning. I want to thank you for doing what you said you were going to do today. I want to thank you for having that courageous conversation because you allowed us to have more peace today. I want to thank you for working out today because you're taking care of our future self, and our future us is thanking you now. I want to thank you. And it doesn't need to be filled with a bunch of ego and vibrato, but it can be the genuine likability, lovability for you, and a thank you to yourself for showing up. You have gone through a lot in your life. You've gone through challenging times. You've gone through people who have abused you and abandoned you in different scenarios of life. You have been through people taking advantage of you. You have been through people laughing at you, making fun of you, telling jokes behind your back about you. You have been through a lot in your life. I know you have, because I've been through similar things. And we are very similar in a lot of ways. It's because all human beings have been through similar experiences. And some of us have had more challenges than others. But we've all experienced the inner critic, the inner doubt that says, I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy. I'm not enough. And an action step I want you to take today is to start each morning by looking in the mirror and saying, I am enough. I like myself. I love myself. And for all the men who are making fun of me right now saying, Lewis, you're weak and soft. Hey, I feel peaceful. And if that's what it takes to have peace and harmony in my life and to have a thriving life where I feel proud of who I am, then I'm willing to have that. But these are practices that have worked for me. And it seems like it's worked for Snoop Dogg as well, where he says, I want to thank me for all the hard work. I want to thank me for showing up and doing good more than I do bad. I want to thank me. And I want to be grateful for the people in my life. And I think if Snoop Dogg can do it, then it's good enough for the rest of us guys as well. But I think the ladies in here who have more of an open-hearted mindset as well, I think you can resonate with this. But I know a lot of women who have never been able to look in the mirror without putting makeup on and say, I'm judging myself, I'm critiquing myself. Well, what is this? I wish my face looked different. I wish my body looked different. Because ladies criticize themselves the most. And if you can start to shift that energy, ladies, and just take a moment to look in the mirror, look at yourself in your beautiful eyes right now, into the beautiful soul that you have, and say, I am enough. I like myself. I love myself. Because you've probably spent years and hours looking into the mirror saying, I'm not enough. And it's time we start undoing some of that damage. It's time we start undoing some of that negative thinking, that negative self-talk, that limiting self-doubt that only makes you feel worthless. It's time we start shifting the narrative. It's time you start speaking empowering thoughts into your eyes and into your heart and your soul. because you are lovable, you are powerful, and you are enough. And you may not believe it right away. You might look in the mirror and do this exercise right now and say, I'm enough. I like myself. I love myself. And your body may not believe it. Your mind may not believe it. And it's going to take the courage to do it every single day. The first time I did this, I didn't believe it. I rejected it. But if you can soften your gaze, if you can look at yourself and really calm your eyes and look at yourself until you start to believe it, even for a moment, you can start to shift it in the energy in your body, and your body can start to feel safe again. And that's what I want for you. I want you to start feeling safe with you. I'm enough. I like myself. I love myself. I also want you to write down 3 things you're grateful for every single morning. Write it down. If you want to write it down on your mirror while you do this exercise, write it down. I'm grateful for this, this, and this. And then do this exercise in the mirror. Again, it's good enough for Snoop Dogg. I think it's good enough for you as well. Just an example there. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Gratitude drowns out fear and comparison. Gratitude expands your heart. It expands you to feel more love as opposed to receiving more criticism and fear. And next time you're rejected by someone, or someone says no, or someone does something where it feels like a rejection, ask yourself, what does this say about them? And why doesn't it change who I am? Ask yourself, what does it say about who they are? And why doesn't it have to change who I am? It doesn't have to change who you are. And then one last thing here is to celebrate one small win each day to reinforce your self-worth. Whether that's, hey, I made my bed today. Hey, I followed through on the 3 things that I said I was going to do today. Hey, I reached out to a friend or two and I was generous today with them. I connected with them. I listened to them. I asked them questions. I did an act for someone today, some kind act. Like, think about those things and celebrate one small win each day to reinforce your own self-worth. This is the end of framework number 3, self-love over external validation. And I want to remind you that rejection doesn't define you. It only defines the people who couldn't see your value. Remember that. And it also, we don't have to take everything so personally. Sometimes a rejection from someone else just means they might be too busy with something right now. And that's okay, because you're going to need to say no to things as well in your life because you have other things going on and it just doesn't fit in with your time or your schedule. We need to stop taking everything so personally as if it's a personal attack against us. And when you stop saying yes just to be liked, when you allow others to support you instead of trying to do it all yourself, and when you finally learn to love yourself no matter what, rejection loses all of its power. These 3 frameworks destroyed my fear of rejection, and if you put them into practice, they'll do the same for you. And remember this, every no you hear is just clearing the path for the right yes in your life. In my book, I talk about the 3 killers of self-doubt: the fear of failure, the fear of success, and the fear of rejection. Rejection is one we talked about today. And I break down in the book each one, because each one of us has at least one of these fears. Some of us has 2 or 3. If you're afraid to fail, leave a yes and let me know. I've been afraid to fail in my life. If you've ever been afraid of success, say, I've been afraid of success on my left in the comments. Or if you're afraid of rejection, judgment, the opinions of other people, then leave a comment below that says, I'm afraid of rejection. In the book, we break down how to overcome each fear, how to take back your own power. So make sure you get a copy of The Greatness Mindset if you don't have it already. And if this resonated with you in any way, if this spoke to you in some way, even if not all of it made sense, but if one thing made sense to you and it felt like it resonated, then type in the comments, I'm ready. Type in the comments, I'm ready. And you're going to let me know. You're going to signal to the world and to me that you're ready to start taking action. You're ready to start overcoming the old self that's been living in, I'm not enoughness. I need to seek approval for other people. I need validation to feel liked and loved. And you're saying, I'm ready to start stepping into a newer version of me that is living with power, intention, clarity, and freedom. And I want you to watch this video over and over again anytime you feel rejection creeping back in, because repetition is how you start to restructure and rewire your mindset and step into your own personal power and your own personal greatness. If this video helped you, make sure to watch this one as well right here that I had that has been going crazy for a lot of people. It's all about why most people stay poor because they ignore this one law. I want you to have freedom internally with your worth in life, your self-worth, and I want you to create more financial worth as well, because when we increase our self-worth, our financial worth grows also. So if this has been powerful, make sure to check out this other video right now to start unlocking that in your life. And I want to remind you one last time in this episode that you are loved, you are worthy, and you matter. And I'll see you very soon. Is the law of mindset, because your internal world shapes your external world. Now, there's a quote I want to share with you from Lisa Nichols that says, "Your life is a physical manifestation of the conversation going on